Now you already know this ain't no ordinary travel podcast. This is the place where stories stretch across oceans, where truth comes wrapped in laughter, and healing shows up between passport stamps. I'm Auntie Rae, your resident hot pants, wearing, globe-trotting, truth-telling storyteller. Some folks call me Raven, but for y'all, I'm Auntie Rae, and I've got a tale for you. So pull up a chair, pour yourself something warm or wild. As you know, I'm probably sipping on some shine, not just wine. Now let's take this journey together. So last time y'all left Auntie Rae fresh off her transatlantic glow on the Queen Mary 2, feeling reborn and ready for whatever the universe had cooking. But let me tell you something right now. Transitioning from Cunard's white-gloved elegance and hushed symphony of ocean breezes to Carnival's is a journey in itself. Carnival ain't Cunard, but she's got soul, a different kind of beat, and she's got volume. I had snatched up a deal for not one, not two, but 4 back-to-back cruises through Europe and the Mediterranean. Talk about a spiritual sabbatical. My first stop was Dover, England. And stepping off that bus from Southampton, seeing those iconic white cliffs again, felt like a time machine. I'd actually vacationed in Dover in my younger years with friends, back when my knees didn't file HR complaints just from a brisk walk. And the white cliffs of Dover, they were exactly how I remembered them. It's like God himself carved them out of vanilla ice cream, massive, tall, just sitting there defying gravity with the ocean slamming against them day in and day out. Just looking out onto those cliffs with the ocean slamming up against them day in and day out. It's just a sight to see, especially when the day is clear and it's sunny. It's just a natural wonder. It brought back all those memories of being a young woman, wide-eyed, dreaming of seeing the world, though my bags weren't quite as heavy then. Now, speaking of living aboard, Carnival surprised me. For 3 of these first 4 cruises, they were able to keep me in the same cabin. An inside cabin, mind you, because Auntie Rae was still on a budget, and those lower deck inside cabins are great for sleeping, no swaying. But the real blessing was my room steward. He was awesome, very personable, always made sure I was comfortable, and yes, I tipped him well. This man was a gem when I caught a small cold in the British Isles because, girl, it gets extremely cold out there. In September, he was ready with suggestions, telling me to hit the sauna and steam room to clear my head. And since I was practically moving in, I had the luxury of actually getting a robe and house shoes. He even offered to do my laundry, too, though the laundromat was right down the hall. And if he'd noticed I hadn't come out of my room by a certain time, bless his heart, he'd give a polite little knock just to make sure Auntie Rae was doing okay. That's 5-star service, no matter the cruise line. Before I even boarded that first Carnival ship in Dover, I had met a woman on the bus ride from Southampton. Another African-American woman, and the bus was crowded, so I politely asked if I could sit next to her. She was nice enough. We chatted all the way down. Little did I know she'd become what you might call a recurring character in a lesson in boundaries. Let's call her Dolores, for our purposes, to protect the innocent, and maybe the not-so-innocent. Dolores, I learned, cruised to escape reality. And girl, she carried her reality with her like an extra suitcase you just can't check. She was on my first cruise, and then when she realized I was doing 3 more, She flew all the way back to Orlando, turned right around, and wound up banging on my door on Cruise 3 to finish out Europe. Girl, the drama! She was moody, always wanted to talk about the loss of her beloved dog, which bless her heart. I empathized, but I was on a trip to enjoy myself. Then, something happened that made things complicated because she discovered something about me, and it became a caustic conversation about what did I sense, what did I know, could I channel this, could I channel that. It was day 2 or 3 of that first Carnival cruise. We were at tea time, which on Carnival is their version of English tea with small bites and sweets. There was also a gentleman from the military at our long table. He asked me to pass the salt, and when I did, my sleeve pulled up, revealing the 2 small tattoos on my inner wrist. He ran his finger across them, then asked, "What are those for?" I didn't want to give him the real reason because that's my business. However, the one on my left arm is to absorb and change negative energy into positive energy, and the other one is for beauty and weight loss. Then he whispered in my ear, and Dolores heard it too, "Can you tell me why your underwear is on backwards? Oh, and by the way, they're peach." Child. My mind raced. Underwear on backwards? And peach? Was this man playing me? I was in jeans, covered up, my t-shirt long enough to hide my backside. I literally paused, then reached down, trying to be discreet, pulling at my shirt. And sure enough, they were inside out. I almost fell out laughing. He just knew. That man, Ellis, a retired military man, could sense things. We're friends to this day, and he can still tell when I'm having a bad day just by the energy. In fact, it's a running joke between us now. If I call him, his friend Dolores calls him the very next day. Auntie Rae don't need to be mingled with to enjoy myself, but sometimes the universe sends you a connection when you least expect it. Now, that connection with Ellis was sweet, but Dolores, she was another story. See, I've learned about energy, y'all. I can distinguish what someone did, why they wronged me, just by sitting with them. It could have been something in their past, something they may have done presently, but all my spidey senses would come together. But during this trip, I was wearing my stones, my moonstone, my onyx, a piece of amber around my neck, inside a locket I'd never opened for anyone else. They keep me centered, keep me from picking up people's nasty energy. And that's why I was able to tolerate Dolores for as long as I did. It wasn't until later, on Cruise 3, when I didn't have that necklace on, that she really started to rub me the wrong way. That's a story for another episode, though. Our ports of call on this first Carnival run were fascinating. Holyhead, Wales was the only disappointed stop. We arrived on a Sunday, and honey, nothing was open. No, that's a lie. They had a little stand selling magnets and one lonely restaurant, kind of in the middle of nowhere. My attitude was, why were we here exactly? I mean, I've been to Wales before, Cardiff for a wedding, which was lovely, but Holyhead. It was raw, chilly in September, and felt less like a destination and more like a mandatory stop. Mostly just a big ship anchor on the port with the wind whipping around you. Sometimes even Auntie Rae finds a dead end on the map, and it ain't always pretty. But then we got to Glasgow, Scotland, and oh, I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I climbed all the way to the top of the castle, took so many pictures of the scenic views around, which was amazing, and found this amazing whiskey cream called Magnum in the gift shop. Still looking for it here in the States. Now here's a moment for the books. I think I was the only person of color on that tour, and the tour guide miscounted and left 2 old ladies behind. They were on canes, mind you, and they caught our bus 5 blocks away, stopping it in the middle of the street. They got on and glared at me like, were you guys really going to leave us? My jaw almost hit the floor. I'm like, child, I don't know you. I'm not their mother's keeper, really. Dublin, though, That was a different kind of homecoming. Having lived in a small suburb right outside Dublin in my younger years, walking those streets felt like being wrapped in an old lover's embrace. Every cobblestone whispered a memory. Standing in front of Trinity Church again, it just connected me to my younger self. And then there was Liverpool. You know Auntie Rae loves a good beat, and the Beatles, they still got it. It was exciting to connect with that iconic history. And then Belfast. That was surreal. Knowing the political unrest from over 40 years ago, actually stepping foot in Northern Ireland, it felt poignant to be walking those streets, feeling the weight of history. It makes you realize some wounds run deeper than a passport stamp. My observant trait was on high alert, soaking it all in. Cork was lovely. I just wandered the streets by myself, left my little shipmate behind, found a little convenience store for local snacks, listened to some live music in the square, and did some window shopping. It was a relaxed day, the weather was nice, flowers were in full bloom. I just took in the scenery and watched how people interacted. And a lot of these European port towns have these amazing carousels and full-blown Ferris wheels right there on the bay. In the States, that's a holiday carnival. But over there, it's just part of the everyday charm. Now let's talk about this particular carnival ship. It's an older ship, definitely gives me 80s vibes for sure. And the food, it was a journey. After my morning laps on the top deck and my coffee ritual, I'd head to breakfast for my standard yogurt parfait and American bacon. But lunch and dinner, especially the buffet, not always worth it. The rice dishes were dried out. The Indian food lacked pizzazz. I mostly ate sandwiches from the deli, and I got to know the deli person real well because they were on the ship for all 4 of my cruises. So yeah, when they say you get what you pay for, yes ma'am, you do. And as a culinary arts trained individual with a degree, I know good food. That lobster roll from the deli, an absolute waste of money. I don't know where these cooks were trained, but this lobster roll was the worst I've ever had. But here's the secret about cruising internationally that you can't do in the Caribbean. You can get off the ship, buy your own beer and wine, and take it back to your cabin to drink at your leisure. So, Auntie Rae made a stop in Dublin, picked up what I wanted, along with other snacks, and because the coffee was lacking, my room steward, bless his heart, informed me where to get off and find a grocery store. That became a pattern on the next 3 cruises. My first port stop was a grocery store run. Candy, chips, juice. It was cool because European snacks, even like Lay's or Doritos, taste different, healthier, with no chemicals. I'd always bring something back from my room. Stuart and my deli friend. It was fun. Wandering into department stores where grocery stores are downstairs. Yes, I did get lost a couple of times in a couple of cities, but that's kind of part of the adventure. And I learned a trick. If I could hear or see the water, I just needed to continue to walk towards the water to get me back to the shore, back to the ship. I even helped some lost folks on this cruise find their way back, telling them my follow the water strategy. And let me tell you, Carnival knows how to hire some really great comedians. I went to the comedy show every single night, both the family-friendly and the not-so-family-friendly shows, because my cabin was on the same floor as the comedy club. Not a problem. A glass of wine, laughing hysterically. I don't need to be coupled up or with a group to enjoy myself. I'm single, not always in the mood to mingle, but when you travel solo like I have for the last 10 years, you learn to make your own fun. I'd take myself to dinner. Sometimes I'd be seated with another single person or a group, and a simple, "How is your cruise?" would lead to conversations from cocktails to dessert and beyond. My friend Dolores, though, she wanted to meet for dinner every night, always at the same buffet-style bench seating. Child, that's not comfortable for Auntie Rae. It's too low, too tight, and with my thicker thighs and backside, I'm not a steady mini. I like to sit at a regular table near the window, watching the water or the wake. I learned a lot about myself on this trip, about setting boundaries, and about what I need to truly enjoy my journey. And yes, I created a ritual for myself every morning from my inside cabin, which is great for sleeping, don't get me wrong. Lower deck, not a lot of swaying. I'd get myself together, grab my thermal mug, and head up to the galley for coffee. Then, depending on our port schedule, I'd do 2 laps around the top deck, watching the morning sun come up. And one morning, I absolutely freaked out when I saw the sun, turned around, and the moon was in direct alignment. First time I'd ever seen that. Maybe I wasn't very observant before, but now I was taking it all in, truly seeing the world with fresh eyes. This was me, blooming in real time, finding wonder in the smallest unexpected moments. I'd say good morning to my Father in heaven and my ancestors for keeping me, just soaking in the quietness, absorbing the power of the ocean, asking for guidance, but mostly just being present. After that, I'd get ready to disembark. My strategy for ports: I'd always take a hop-on, hop-off bus tour. The best way to see the city without doing it all on foot, especially with my ankle acting up. Midway through this cruise, my left ankle started bothering me. Tendinitis. I did bring a brace or wrap for my ankle, but that didn't really help much. So I'd get out early, see what I wanted to see, walk as far as I could before it got too hot or rainy, then get back on the ship mid-afternoon. That way, 90% of the other guests were still ashore, and I had the run of the ship. Or better yet, I could scope out the best place to grab my Kindle, curl up in a corner with a coffee, and just read. That's my kind of peace. This first Carnival cruise, it was a real taste of Europe. The good, the bad, and the utterly unexpected. It was about finding my rhythm on a different kind of ship, reconnecting with my past, and learning to navigate not just new cities, but new friendships, and some much-needed wisdom about setting my own course. Auntie Rae's just getting started, and the lessons keep coming. See, I told you it wasn't just a story, it was a moment. And y'all, moments like that, they linger. So take a deep breath, hold on to the lesson, the laugh, or the little piece of truth that found you today. And don't worry, we're just getting warmed up. Next time I've got another chapter, another turn, another truth to spill. We're talking about how a quiet moment on that vast ocean led to a connection I never expected and the wild path it took me on. Because this road Auntie Rae is walking, it's rich with detours, revelations, and a whole lot of soul. Until then, keep your bags light, your heart open, and your sass unapologetic. I'll see you again when we disembark in Southampton. England, we have ports to explore.
From Cunard's hushed embrace to Carnival's loud beat, a different kind of freedom walking new on aching feet. Dover cliffs rising like vanilla ice cream dreams, echoes of a young girl by the ocean, silent streams. 4 cruises tacked ahead, a sabbatical so deep, a gentle room steward, secrets he would keep. He knew when I was ailing with a pool light soft, not 5-star service shining against the ticking clock. British Isles blues and the sun breaking through, every laugh, every lesson making me brand new. On the waves of old stories, finding my own way. So steps moving forward, come what may. Met a soul named Dolores on a bus, it's true, carrying her reality like a suitcase for 2. Then at tea time's quiet hum, a military man saw beyond the surface, part of life's grand plan. Underwear on backwards and child their peach, he said. My mind raced and shattered, falling out of my head. Else a sweet connection in a world so wide, the universe sends people right there by your side. British Isles blues and the sun breaking through, every laugh, every lesson making me brand new. On the waves of old stories, finding my own way. Soul soaked steps moving forward, come what may. disappointment to Scotland's shining star. Climbed the Glasgow castle, saw wonders in the sky. Then two old ladies chasing with a glare in their eye. Dublin felt like homecoming, Liverpool's beat so bold. Belfast weighty history, a story to be told. Carnival's old 80s vibe and food a bumpy ride. But duty-free secrets to my cabin I would glide. On this traveling throne, Dolores wanted bench sheets, but I knew what I deserved. Boundaries slowly bloom in my own peace preserve. Morning deck rituals, watching sun and moon align. Seeing life with fresh eyes, truly deeply mine. Ankle pain a whisper, but the hop on showed the way. Finding quiet corners at the close of every day. British Isles blues and the sun breaking through. Every laugh, every lesson making me brand new. On the waves of old stories, finding my own way. Soul-soaked steps moving forward, come what may.